At Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. As we get a peek at their dynamic signal caller hailing from Mississippi State, it's Dak Prescott.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. So that'll back him up 5.
Still second down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Call it a pickup of 7. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Let's go.
On third down, it's Prescott. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Let's go. Here we go. 480. Vikings at 50. Check right 50. Hey, keep it up. Keep it up.
Prescott on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. So into Packer territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 36. Kamara. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 16 carries, 81 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a changeup. Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now on 2nd and 13. Prescott. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, from Minnesota. Miles Boykin with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their 5'11" quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
He's always been an incredible decision maker on the field. Takes care of the ball really well, puts his team in the right positions, makes sure the play calls are accurate. Also was a minor league baseball player. Didn't hit very well there. I think he made a great career choice picking football.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Nyheim Hines, his first carry. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he goes back to the huddle, he better be giving him a whole lot of credit and thanking him for that much space to rumble.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Alert, 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 alert. Joker, 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 joker. Under 10, under 10.
Now it's Hines. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Watch tight, tight ends right. Watch tight.
Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11.
You can't block me. You can't block me. He's coming.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson, it's brought in complete. It's John Brown. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Good job right there. Good job right there. You can't block me.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Robertson. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 43.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Alert. 59 Mike. Check, 59. Hey, defense, let's go. Kill. Left pass.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. We thought this defense would be opportunistic, and they were. Here, you're already up. Now you got a 2-touchdown lead. I tell you, going out there on defense, did they have a little bit of extra momentum with a score already on the board?
Oh, without a doubt. That already felt good to them, and they took it and used it and obviously put up another one. But here's the thing now. Some defense coordinators might want to pull their guys back a little bit because they don't want them to make mistakes because they're too overamped. Others say, I've got 2-touchdown lead. Go get them, guys. They'll be even more aggressive.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Check safety, check safety. Check. Hey, alert. Check 13. Shoot.
They will run with Grant, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
But now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Strip the ball. Strip that ball. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. I got you, punk. Shit. Big edge.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson. Open man, Taylor Gabriel. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making him
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
the coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. This to Jarwin. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
Here's Prescott. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Here we go. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". Oh, get him, get him.
Now Wilson on first down. Got a man open. It's Ricky Seals-Jones. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Give them 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Check, 59, 59. Hey, check. Mike's 59. Mike's 59.
From the shotgun, Wilson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Wilson to throw again. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line. Wilson now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here.
Watch the safety creep. He's coming. We got double. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". Oh, yeah.
Throwing again here, Wilson. Going right side here, and that's complete. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. The first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. 1st and 10 right at the 20.
Mike's 50. Watch the screen.
Wilson will throw again. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And that first half was nothing short of a disaster. 0 points on the scoreboard and a big 3 in the INT column.
So they've got to get him going, obviously, right? So you've got to get him in rhythm. And we always think of short passes. I think of jet sweeps where they just kind of toss the ball forward. You know, that counts as a forward pass. And then you can say to him, look at that. You completed 3, 4, 5 in a row. Now you've got to get your confidence going.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. 13 yards, first down Packers. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. To throw is Wilson. And this one's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Wilson. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of the first down.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Prescott looks to throw on first. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Quan Alexander, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. After the sack on first down, Prescott. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 46.
Let's go, Mike 50. Mike 50.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And that's complete to Brown. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now Wilson. It's caught by Bryant. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 23 yards, the final tally. Wilson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, Mike 50, Mike 50. I'm here all day. No. Off. 36 power.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. John Brown, his first touchdown on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Gano the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On the ground, Kamara. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Now Kamara. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. James Bradbury there to make the tackle. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right?
Oh, no, he lost the football.
Let's go, boy. Bring it up.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Sheldon Richardson, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. Throwing, Prescott. Trying to improvise. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Patrick Owasor, he's the one that drops him this go-around, and that pass rush getting strong here. Back-to-back sacks. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, 3rd down. Prescott from the gun. Got an open man, the tight end, Jarwin. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. The pass to Brown as he holds it in. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 41. To throw is Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. Bryant has it. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped. So now, following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. That is caught at the 7-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Wilson on the keeper, and I don't think he got in. The big bodies up front held him at the 1. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Now, that was a little too conservative for my liking. It's only 2nd down, and they try to run the sneak. Give credit to the defense. They pushed them back and set up 3rd down.
Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's the sneak with Wilson. Try to wedge his way in there. No signal. I don't think he got there. He did it. They try the sneak, but not enough push. He doesn't get in. And instead of having a 1-score game, they'll remain 2 scores down. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll get this up to the 4 right about there, and that's about it. Defensively, Jimmy Ward in on the stop. They run it again with Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.